pressure in control. Man, that looks great.
Jets! Oh my God, it's so beautiful. 78 degrees, Jets football, and we're winning. That's what's going on today. That's why everybody's so psyched. This isn't no happenstance. This is a guarantee, just like Joe Namath said. See that?
There are few things in life you cannot put a price on. Loyalty, tradition, fierce passion. Today is a gigantic family reunion because finally, they're back.
Holy macaroni, rocky roly, what's happening, everybody? This is GreenBean with an emergency live stream. We have big news, everybody. Big news. The biggest news that could possibly have come out, barring tragedies and explosions and stuff like that. As we all know by now, if you don't, here it is. The doctors refuse to clear Mike effing White. And our number 2 quarterback, one cute little Zach Wilson, will be placed into the starting lineup against the Lions. And I'm hearing all sorts of crazy, not necessarily crazy, but passionate responses. Passionate responses. Both sides. People are going, oh my God, I can't believe it. We're done. I'm hearing those. And I'm hearing stupid stuff like this. Look at this one. I'm not allowed to root for the Jets now. I'm hearing even that stuff. You can't do it. You're not allowed. Welcome, my 12-year-old friend, BYU fan. It's good to have you back. I hope you're happy. I hope this leads to somewhat of a, just even if it's just a small token of vindication. Let's hope that Zach's 3 weeks on the bench, pouting in the rain against the Bears, all the things they tried to make it look like. Let's hope that this served him well and that our boy Zach Wilson is ready to be everything that we ever hoped that he'd be since we drafted him with the number 2 overall pick. Hello, I see Harry's in here. What's up, Harry? Let's see what he learned. I'm with you. Finnegan, thank you, Finnegan. It's good to have you guys here. Don DeCipio, load the box, watch him run, and watch us lose. Here's the so Don's concerned. Yeah, man. Now, I'm going to get into a couple good news pieces. I've been thinking, okay, what has changed since Zach Wilson's last start when he threw for 77 yards and we lost because we couldn't score more than a field goal? What's changed since then? So we'll get into that in a minute. Scott, what's up, Scott? Yeah, man, have no faith. Finnegan, have no fear. GreenBean's Burner, what's up, dude? Jay-Z's here. It's good to see you. Don't you go back on your words. Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. Like, if you listened to me, you would hear that I root for the quarterback throwing the ball for the Jets. I don't care what you think. All right, who else? Matt's here. Oh, my goodness. That's what he's saying there. Oh, I know Matt, and that's what he's saying. Oh, my goodness. That's right. I know that. See that? So who else is here? Spin Max Dave, does anyone know who the back? Well, that's going to be interesting, right? Because, look, I think all of us, we were very concerned with the idea of Flacco coming back per his last performance. So we were happy, no matter what happened, we were happy with the idea that he wasn't number 2. So I'm really curious. Now, we know we cut Will Parks with the intention, I'm hearing, to bring him back to the practice squad. But what does that mean? I haven't heard. We lost Jonathan Marshall this week. We did sign a defensive tackle to the practice squad. So that's going to be interesting. Mo Lake is here. Ron Mo Lake. It's a different Mo Lake, everybody. That's Ron. This is my buddy Ron. Big Green's here. What's up, Big Green? Jason C., what's up, man? Look at all you guys. Up and away. GreenBean, what's up with you, dude? R&R's here. I'm rooting for all the Jets that's exactly right. Look at, and R&R, Matt's the same ways. I got to get behind Zach if you want to. Right. What do you think? I want to be right. I want my fears to be realized, and I don't get to make the playoffs because the guy I thrown the board, I don't like is playing. And the thing is, I don't even dislike Zach. I dislike what I've seen. Kenobi Clones here. Here he is. See, we're in trouble. Super Leroy. Yeah, thank you, Leroy. That's what I was going for. Zach is back. Don't talk back. I don't think many people got it. It's hard in text, Leroy. Thank you. Because I went on Ryan's stream a few minutes ago and I said, Zach is back. Am I on crack? And he didn't get it. He didn't read it right. He was like, am I? It's hard to text, See, Malburn, we're screwed. So let's do this, everybody. A Jets for life. I had a dream about this, and he threw for only 17 yards, or 70 yards, but we won 17-12. Now, that's what we'll talk about. Is that okay? Is that okay? Do the people that are rigidly on Zach's side without performance having any inclusion into their argument, if he throws for 70 yards and the defense just balls out and the whole thing, and maybe Bam gets a long run or something like that, and we win 17-12, but Zach's abysmal. He's a winner? Is that what we hear? Jets, Zach's going to light up Detroit. Nothing would be better. Dude, I'm telling you what, best case scenario, is that the benching was everything Zach needed. He just needed to clear his head. He was jumbled. He was random. He was freaking out. And he comes in and he saw the job slipping away. Like, dude, why am I overthinking this? It's just football. He said last week something to the effect of, I'm realizing I just got to have fun again. Like, I love the game and I just got to play the game. Like, and he said that before. So I don't know, but maybe if it really sinks in, because now it's not like watching Flacco go in there and look bad, even though he threw for whatever many yards. Remember, Flacco was like number 2 in the league, and after the Cleveland game, and he looked great in the Cleveland game, but then the Bengals game, he was just atrocious. So it's different watching that guy. He's not stealing your job. Mike White was stealing his job. If he, if without the injury, I don't think there's even a consideration. So, but we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. That might not be true. Let's see. Gary Fisher. Cheers for the team. Cheer for the team. Right. That's how I am. Just win the game. However, I'm with you. Spin Max Dave. Who is I know we're going to talk about that. I just don't know. Let's see. Ben, honestly, embarrassing response by the fans. Really, people out there who won't root for Zach because he sucks. He's the stuff. Well, I'm not seeing much of that, Ben. I'm not seeing. I can't say it's not out there, but I haven't seen much of that. I've seen people that are like, "Oh shit," like they think that our chances are diminished. Which, if I'm being real honest, I feel similarly. I'm rooting for him. I want nothing more than for Zach to be the commander-in-chief of the offense. Everything runs smoothly. If they put 8 in the box, and then he's hitting them for 15 plus. If they spread him out, he's taking his check downs and we're eating them up. That's what I want. I want a precise, calm, and effective Zach Wilson. But everything up to this point has led me to believe he's going to struggle with that. And San Diego or Detroit's defense, they've been playing, man. They've been playing. So I'm nervous. So, and I think that's I think that's warranted, man. I think it's warranted. We've seen some exciting football the last couple weeks. And again, like when you look at it, people could say, oh, you only care about numbers. Dude, let me tell you something. Offensive numbers matter. Okay. Passing yards, completion percentage, all that stuff matters. So when you see a quarterback that's able to move the team, guys like Elijah Moore, who was supposed to be one of our biggest, offensive weapons, most effective when we can't even get him the ball. And then another quarterback comes in. He has, 10 receptions in 3 weeks and a touchdown? Like, it's unnerving. You know what I mean? It is. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. Dom C's in the house. Corey Davis is also out, and Quinnen Williams is doubtful. Now we're getting into it, guys. So hey, Dom, did they upgrade, elevate Tanzel Smart yet? I've been traveling, man. It's been real hard to dig in. I did hear some press conference action, and I was able to catch up with this. I saw some stuff about Napper. But I haven't really dug into like practice squad moves and all that. But I will show you guys this. What do you guys think of this? And then we're going to get into conspiracy theories. But first, I want to show you guys this. So our good friend, Connor Hughes, put this out there. And this will begin our conspiracy theory segment of this emergency show. So Connor Hughes says, so doctors cleared him to return to the game, but not play a week later. Legitimate and real concerns here. So I've already seen some comments. Some comments were leaning toward, well, the Jets, the Jets put this out there because it's an excuse to get Zach back and give him that chance that they were hoping to give him when they initially downgraded him, right, from starter to inactive. So they remember, Saleh has said numerous times that the goal was to get Zach back this year, but it was going to be really hard to do that with the way Mike White was playing, the way the team responds to him, and all that stuff. So can they just have a conversation with the doctors and say, hey, look, it's close one way or the other. Do us a favor and make him inactive for this game. Just this game. He needs a few more days before we can, in good conscience, put him back. And this gives them the opportunity to inject Zach Wilson back into the offense. Give him that chance without the team having a mutiny, without the fans being furious, because it's out of our hands. We can't do anything, right? So that's one. I saw other ones, and I think this is where Connor Hughes is going here, that the medical staff has their head up their ass. Again, why would you – is it okay to put him back into the game that he's getting hurt, and then a week later they say, no, he's not good enough? So what happened there? Did it get worse? Maybe it got inflamed. I don't know. Maybe – I don't know. So Dom says he hasn't heard anything about Tanzel Smart. Okay. Let's see here. What do you guys think about these? What do you guys think about these conspiracy theories? What do you guys think? Which side are you on? Do you think there's any validity to it? Or do you think it's just, hey, they evaluated him all week. He's been practicing. They don't like the way he's breathing. They don't like the way he's moving. They said, hey, we're going to hold you till Thursday's game, at least. What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys got. Matt says, I think I just saw Elijah Moore jump off the top of the building at Jets Complex. I know, man. If anybody, right? If anybody, it's going to be him. 10 out of 14 rookie of the weeks. Let's go, Big Green. There you go, dude. Some positivity. Let's not forget, right? So the trick is to not get it twisted, guys. That's the whole thing. We don't get it twisted. We have a lot to feel good about. The problem is we need this game, and losing, honestly, the guys that have been performing the best for us, Quinnen Williams, Mike White, and even Corey Davis, who 2 weeks ago had his best game all year with Mike White at quarterback, 5 for 85. It sucks. It sucks to do that. Iowa says Zach's 4 worst games were against top 10 pass defense. He hasn't faced a bottom third team yet. Well, how about his best games? What were his best games? He had 355 against the Patriots. It's hard for me to call that his best game, though. I looked a couple days ago. I forget. Well, you can argue two of Mike White's games were in the atrocious, abominable weather, right? So Zach Wilson in the Patriots game literally used the weather as an excuse, not a reason, excuse, whatever. So anyway, let's hope that what I was talking about here, that Zach looked so bad because those defenses were so good, right? And look, man, the 3 weeks, that's what we have to hang our hat on. Harry says, as I mentioned to you last Sunday, we will hear Coach speak promoting what Zach, right? Yeah. You said exactly that, Harry. You said you're going to hear it start this week. Zach's looked really good in practice, and we did. We heard it, right? We saw little interviews. I'm feeling really loose. I'm learning to have fun with the game. It's been really great. All those things start happening. That's called greasing the tracks, right, Harry? Let's see. J.E. Hopefully Zach Wilson plays great. I have PTSD of overthrowing receivers and scrambling 10 yards. It's hard to get out of your head, isn't it, J.E.? It's hard to shake, my friend. Skipperoo can survive without Davis, but Q's loss is not good. I'm with you, man. He is the best player on our team. He has 11 sacks with 4 games left. He's already the best interior lineman as far as statistically, and obviously, I mean, the statistics don't even scratch the surface with him. The statistics are strong, but his impact is even more. But he's already, the best since the 90s. You know what I mean? Since the 90s. So there's that. But man, the only good news there, Skipperoo, is that the truth is that we do still have solid players. Like, it's not like we're going from, who was it? Who was our pass rusher back then? Like, we're not going from Jeff Lageman to Paul Fraze. You know what I mean? And that might not be the best example. I know half you guys are like, who the hell are you talking about, dude? I don't know. All right, so Steve has an answer. He says, no way the coaching staff want Mike White not to play this week. We need to win games, and a healthy White gives us the best chance. I think, Steve, that's kind of where I am. But, look, when you turn your head around, you go conspiracy theory, what if? When people start saying it, I always entertain it first. I go, ooh, that would be something, right? So I don't know. So Jeff says, ridiculous. The locker room wouldn't have. What if the locker room doesn't know, Jeff? That's what I'm saying. And again, I'm not saying I believe that. I think I'm more with Steve. Like, the coaches want to win. They want. I mean, if they make it to the playoffs this year, that's very good for the longevity of their jobs, right? No matter what happens, you can have ups and downs, but if you get us to the playoffs in 2 years after a 12-year drought, you're looking pretty good. So I'm not saying I believe it. We're entertaining it. I see us struggling if Q isn't out there. Scary. Jets Chaos doesn't believe that the Zach Wilson story is a story. He doesn't believe that's even important. He just thinks Quinnen Williams is the only story. The real story. The hard-hitting news comes from Jets Chaos. That's what he's doing. Jay, oh boy, the playoffs. I know. Well, the playoffs are in question anyway, buddy. You know what I mean? Let's see what else we got. Super Leroy says, I think the coaching staff and GM are elated. Now it puts all the pressure on the players to grow up and be professionals. That's an interesting take. Right? Stop stomping your feet. Work with them, no matter what. Right? No matter what. Whatever it is. Whatever it is that has to happen, you just work with them. Now, that said, though, Leroy, I do think that they did a pretty good job up until that last game. The last game was bad. It was as if we didn't have a quarterback, But I think they did pretty good all year, except Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore was ridiculous, and I don't take him off the hook for that. Let's see. I need to move JFM. That was what I was thinking, Steve. JJ and Huff on the outside. JFM, Shepard, Rankins, and then Solly rotation on the inside. Carl Lawson, Mike Clemens. Is he back from the flu, Michael Clemens? Yeah, Big Green. Big game from Conklin. Although, we know he's been struggling, man. He's been struggling. So let's see what we got here. Now, here's the thing, though. Oh, Twisted, I see what you did there. That was good. Now, here's the thing. We can do two things this week, hopefully. One is, if Zach plays well, which 99% of us are hoping, unlike the Zach supporters, they were clearly rooting against Mike White, most of them, which is really sad to see. You know what I mean? Again, Jets. If some kid named Paul McIntyre gets signed off the street because everybody's hurt and he comes in, we're rooting for him. You know what I mean? Like, go Paul! That's how it is. So I was really disheartened to see the response from the the Zach crew. It was like as soon as there was an errant pass, we were getting blown up in the chat. See this guy, blah blah. It's like I don't know. I didn't like that. Now, most of the people, that were happy with what was going on, and I'll speak for myself, will be happy if Zach succeeds. That's all I want. I wanted Zach to succeed in the first place. I hated watching what we were watching. I hated it. It made me sick. It made me sick, right? But here's the thing. If Zach is terrible in this game, it has to stop. Right? It has to stop, at least for this season. Next season, we can push reset and see what we have. But if he's bad, we have to stop. If he's great, good. Let's see if he can stack it up. Because that's something that he's been able to do is have that really good game, and then the next game not look so good. So that would be my concern. Don't put I put 100% of the blame on Elijah Moore. I don't care what's happening around you. You have 3 years or 2.5 years on your contract. You've done nothing in the NFL to warrant responding like that, and the Jets were in their first 3-game win streak in 10 years. Shut up. What he did was terrible. And like Salah said, it's a shame because that's really not him. It's my firm belief that A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, those guys and his agent got into his head. Stomp your feet right now. There's 2 or 3 weeks before the trade deadline. Let's do everything we can to get you the hell out of there. I already know the Chiefs have interest in a receiver like you. That sort of thing. But still, he should have said, hey, man, back off. I'm not that person. I 100% not with the scenario, but the response was all him, and he should have been a man and just did it the right way. Can we please get Elijah Moore some design plays with Zach at quarterback? Let's find them. Right. Force the chemistry, Billy boy. Maybe we do. I'd like to see Zach just be able to hit him, man. Right? Like we already know that they're going. We've seen it. We saw it when Zach before he got pulled. There were numerous occasions that guys were open, and one of those guys on, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 plays a game was Elijah Moore. He could not find him. And when he did, sadly to say, he threw it into the dirt or he threw it way over his head or something. Cahill, this game is on Mike LaFleur. You know, that's a great point, Thomas. Mike LaFleur now has to craft a game plan that allows Zach to gain in comfort throughout the process. He should not start the game with 7-step drops and long developing plays. Fair enough? Fair point? That's the way it should be, man. If we start seeing that, they should be quick. Garrett Wilson, little slant, boop, bop, beep, boop, little screen, little this, little that. Let's gain some comfort. And Zach start going, woo, I can do this, baby. That's it. The team start going, there you go, kid. There you go. That's what we want. Egerton, what's up, Egerton? He says, as a conspiracy believer, I am watching who the number 2 quarterback is. If the number 2 is White, then this is all staged. I know, because if the doctors don't clear him, then if he could, it's a very real scenario that he could be forced to play. So that would be something. That would be something. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's see here. Here we go. Thank you, Iowa. He says pass defense rankings. Say GreenBean is green. See what I do there? That's how I see those two letters together. Green Bay was number 5. Denver was number 7. And New England was number 9. We're number 4. Oh, this is different. Okay. Green Bay. Well, I mean, he didn't exactly have a great game in Green Bay. It was a good game. I forget, what was it, 120 yards? That's the thing. It's like, I don't know, man. It's really hard to put a finger on it because the people that are just staunchly behind Zach seem to think that those games are on him. But if you look at the team, those happen to be just exceptional games. And the one, in my brain, and we looked at this the other day, but I'm like a sieve, Iowa. So it's like my brain doesn't necessarily capture all that. But in my head, I remember feeling like Zach had good games in Green Bay, against Miami, and Pittsburgh. Those were the games I was like, okay, we got something to work with this guy. Those were the games. When I look back, I'm like, doesn't look that way. Statistically, I mean. That's why we always talk about, the story of the stats. It's just real hard. It's it's real hard to just look at stats and say, oh, well, this is that because of this. Like, we know the deal. When you watch a game, like just because at the end of the game they let you get 100 more yards because you're down by 21 points, it's not real. You know what I mean? The interesting thing with Mike White is that there was never really any garbage time. It wasn't like we were going to win those games. So there was never garbage time stats. There's not a single garbage time yard where that's not always the case. You know what I mean? Scott Boudier. Thank you. He says, I look at it as we know we have our number 1 and 2 quarterbacks from here on out, whoever plays. That's an interesting way to see it. That's an interesting way to, you know what the problem with that, Scott, is? I mean, that's good in theory. It's good in theory. The problem is you're not going to be able to keep Mike White as a number 2 this year. It's my belief that he has shown enough that some team, the Colts, maybe, that have had quarterback struggles, the Texans, they would happily give him 15 to 25 million. I mean, that's low on the quarterback spectrum. And Mike White has proven he can play. It's 2 seasons now. He's proven it, man. Now, you never know how things are going to go, of course, but he's played at an NFL level. He's gone punch for punch with 10-2 teams. You know what I mean? At any time, he was betrayed. He could have, again, if Berrios caught that pass, it was a wrap. So there's all those kinds of things, Hey, hold on a second. O'Leary, I'm being told you're in the chat. I didn't see you yet, but I'm going to send this to you, my friend. Why don't you come hang out? I think you're at the doctor. Matt O'Leary's at the doctor. Let's see if he can come on. I saw your thing, Matt. Let me see here. I'll send it to you nonetheless, and we'll see here. Come on, everybody. Who did I send that to? There it is. So, O'Leary, I'm going to send this to you if you want to come in. I would love to hear your thoughts. Because, Matt, if anybody watches us out there, you have to agree that while Matt's fiery at times, he's kind of he's among the most kind of fair, what is the word I'm looking for? He's like constructive. Let me just say it that way. Okay. Matt's among the most constructive of us. So Matt, I sent you the link. If you want to come in, great. If you can't, no sweat. But yeah, so Scott, so the point is, Zach's going to cost us 9 and change this year because of his contract. If you cut him, he costs $21 million. So he's going to be on the team. And then how much do you so you're already giving $10 million or so to a quarterback. How much more can you really allocate? That's kind of the struggle. Like the best case, man, for the overall team is that Zach balls out. That's the best case for everything. Matt B says, hope the coaches tell Zach to play boring football. Yeah, there he is. Look at this. So you're good. You're back from the doctor.
Yeah, so wild story with that. Ended up not going. I went but didn't see a doctor because they couldn't find my insurance. It changed after, and I was like, they said you can see the doctor, but you might have to pay out of pocket. I said I will reschedule in January. Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm all good.
Good with that.
Yeah, it was just for a stupid like medical medicine renewal. I was like, I have enough to get me through another month. Like, let's do this when it's all figured out. I don't have to.
Right.
I got to go scream about Zach Wilson actually. So
yeah. So all right. So now, just fresh. I have not seen your real take yet. So first impressions. What do you think? Where have your thoughts gone since your first impression? Lay it on us.
Yeah, my mind was kind of going a mile a minute trying to like figure out where I am on this. I'm bummed for Mike White because he was playing really well, and I thought he deserved to continue to play. But I'm very curious to see what Zach can do against a poor passing defense. And I would imagine, like, how are you not extremely motivated after you were benched and then watched Mike White go out and put up, 3 really solid performances? Like, if there was ever a time for a guy to be humbled and come in and, rebound, I think now would be the time. Now, I'm not expecting him to go out for 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't think that's the case, but can he give you a performance? I heard you mentioning that you thought he played well in the Miami game. I agree. I think that was one of his better games. He only threw the ball 21 times, but had 210 passing yards, completed like 2/3 of his passes. And didn't have a turnover. I think you could maybe see something more similar along those stat lines. And with this Jets defense, I think they'll be in the game, and I think they could still win.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I don't know what to think either. Like, obviously, you're very similar to me. It doesn't matter who ends up walking out as our quarterback. We're rooting for them. Yeah. Like, we don't have those ulterior motives, like I hope this guy sucks, so the other guy that's not how we are wound, right? So we have that, but the idea that Mike White, who I firmly believed was going to shred the Detroit defense, I felt very confident in that. He was playing really well against some top defenses, so I felt comfortable. Anything can happen, but I felt good. So this switch is kind of jarring. It is. It's like, holy shit. And I don't know how to feel. But there are people saying Zach's going to throw for 3 touchdowns. And it's like, do you realize that Zach has only thrown 4 in 7 games? Like, the idea, and great, I would love it, but it's so far from what's likely to happen. And our expectations have to be tempered. Now, do you think that Zach is more motivated by what Mike White was doing, like more than the first 3 games with Flacco? Like, I don't think he necessarily felt like Flacco was going to take his job. It was like, when I come in, I come in. Do you think this is a little bit more unnerving for him?
Oh, without a doubt, because like last year with the Mike White, or when he was injured and White started and played well, everyone knew that once Zach was healthy, he was going to come back in and play. With Flacco, everyone knew that eventually they were going to turn the keys over to Zach. With how things were going and how Mike White was playing, pretty much not everyone, but a lot of people were saying that this is Mike White's team the rest of the way. He's going to play the rest of the year, and maybe best case scenario for Zach, he'll be in a quarterback competition. But with the injury, now he's getting a second shot. And if he doesn't want to give that job back, he's got to come in and perform. And I'm with you. I don't think like expecting 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, I think is a crazy expectation. I've seen, I went live a little bit earlier, and I saw rather some more on the negative side where like, oh, here we go, a 4-pick game, the Jets are losing and the season's over. So I don't think that's necessarily fair either, but can you expect like a middle of the road kind of performance? I think that's a reasonable ask. And I think that's, again, kind of likely against a pass defense that really isn't any good.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity, right? Like, it's very similar to the people who have kind of been unwilling to even consider that Mike White's games have any merit, like that side, that extreme wing of Jets fandom. This is similar to the Chicago game where people, well, look, he gets to play this team. it's not quite the same. I mean, Detroit is, and they're on a hot streak, and they're impassioned, and they're believing, and so there's all that. But it's similar to that, where if Zach just is calm and just does his job, we've already seen that we're not looking for Pat Mahomes here. We're not looking for Tom Brady in his prime. We're just looking for a guy that can get the ball to the playmakers. Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Conklin, even, or Bam. Like, just get it to their hands and let them go to work. That's all we need to do. If he can do that, this is the type of defense that he can really have a somewhat of a comeback game. And, look, man, I want to get your thoughts on this too, because I put up the Connor Hughes. I'm not sure if you saw. I'll put it up real fast for you. Yeah. I put this up, and he said, so doctors cleared him to return to the game, but not play a week later. Legitimate and real concern here. And I saw there was a whole bunch of responses, and we talked about it briefly here, but this was kind of it inspired a little bit of conspiracy theory that maybe the Jets they wanted to get Zach in at some point, but if they did it, just kind of said, hey, we're just choosing to do it, that the team could split, it could faction, mutiny, because of, they're all behind Mike White. Do you think this is one of those chances? I mean, do you think that there is a chance this is one of those scenarios where the Jets just kind of talked to the doctor and said, hey, hold him out for a few more days so we have this opportunity to start Zach? You think anything like that is possible at all?
I don't. I cannot in my heart of hearts think that Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, or anybody could have done that based on, like, they want to win games. And it was obvious with how Mike White was playing that he would have likely given you the best shot to win games, even though, yes, we know that they lost to the Vikings and Bills, but that's a whole nother conversation. That's too out there for me. I get it, because Robert Saleh was saying, oh, we want to get Zach back on the field and we have a plan. I don't think his plan was getting Mike White hurt and then like forcing the doctor's hand to make him sit out. I think it's just something that kind of happened. It's a coincidence. And that's also why I think, he never necessarily went out there and said, oh, Mike White's the guy for the rest of the season, or made any declarative statements, because he knew that, hey, maybe there's a real chance that Zach might have to come back on the field at some point. So let's not crush the kid.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. And somebody brought up in the chat too, like, hey, look, let's not forget, this is a young organization that want to show that they're good. They want to win. So if there's any indicator one way or the other that they're kind of, putting a stick in the spokes, they're not going to do that. They just want to win. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the solid ground is right around there. It's just like, hey, I don't think that they're going to try to pull any strings. What if the doctor comes out and says, hey, man, I don't believe in this? And they're, who knows, right? All sorts of shit can come out and blow up the entire operation. So now let me ask you this. All right, so let's say it's all legitimate. We were talking a few minutes ago about Elijah Moore and some others. Do you think guys like Elijah Moore are jumping off the top of one Jets drive? Like, you think they're completely destroyed here? Or do you think that they're good? Do you think there was any rumblings in the locker room negative wise?
I hope not. I hope that they are well coached enough and have enough good leaders in there that won't happen. I mean, I really liked, it was a few weeks ago, what CJ Uzama had to say. I forget whose show he was on, but he was talking about after Zach got benched and that, Zach addressed the team, and it got, they obviously weren't happy with his comments after the New England game, as nobody was. We all crushed him for it, and rightfully so. But he said it meant a lot to the team to hear Zach get up there and take responsibility. And, I just hope that it's something that they could put in the past. Did it suck? Yes. Are some people going to say, oh, here we go, Elijah and Garrett, they're going to be upset, they're not going to get their reps? We have no idea, but I just hope for the team's sake, they realize, hey, they have a real shot to make the playoffs here. Let's put all that BS behind us and just try to win football games.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to. I mean, like, the idea would be like, well, just be a friggin' professional. You're all making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Just shut up and play, right? That's what you hope, but we've seen it. We know that's not always the case. Real quick, Miro says, you think he's played only 3 games? You think he's proven himself? Like, what? Miro, if that is a real comment, then you have not been hanging around the NFL very long. I'll use one example, just one, but there are dozens. Matt Flynn played one game in relief for Brett Favre, threw for 500 yards and got a monster contract. Okay. It's happened with Foles. It's happened with Simeon, numerous guys. They come in for 1 or 2 games. They look good, and a team's willing to throw money at them. What's his name? Mike White has done more than enough to prove that he's worth a shot in the NFL. If you don't think so, that's fine, but you're wrong. So there you go.
Brock Osweiler. Remember that?
That's actually, that's funny. That's the guy my brain was searching for. And I landed on Simeon, but yeah, Brock Osweiler is another one. It's happened myriad times in the NFL. It's the way it goes. A lot of guys come in and they can't play the position. Even guys that you like, in our example, like we use a number 2 overall pick, and that doesn't even guarantee that they can play the position well. If somebody comes in and he runs an offense a couple games, that's enough for teams to go, you know what? I can work with that. I can work with that guy. So, yes, I do believe that. Cahill says, either way, guys, we have awesome trade value for either quarterback. That's an interesting part to all of this. Like, even when we had Mike White playing well, if he finished the season, Matt, there were people saying, well, you got to keep him, right? Now, what is he going to demand? You know, is it 20 million, 25 million? He knows he's going to get a shot somewhere. So the idea that, if you keep Zach, he's 9 million and change, whatever. If you cut him, he's 21 and change. I'm not sure what the trade looks like. I think there's a dead cap for us as well. Do you think that if both of these guys look like they can be NFL caliber, do you think there's like a sign and trade kind of a thing? Do you think we trade Zach? How do you think that all looks?
Honestly, I don't. I think they really are going to go into the summer and into camp with like a legitimate quarterback battle and see who wins out. And maybe at that point they could potentially trade if there's an injury somewhere else. But for me, like, we've seen the Jets over the last few years get decimated by injuries year after year after year. God forbid you choose one over the other, and then 2 weeks into the season, one gets hurt, and now you're like, oh God, we got the corpse of Joe Flacco still backing up for like the 55th seasons in a row. It would have been like shit. It would have been nice to have the other guy. So I think they end up keeping both, whether it's Flacco, White backing up Wilson or Wilson backing up White. But I think they're both here next year.
Yeah, I don't. It's one of those things, man, where I sincerely don't know what we're going to be able to do. As we know, we have money issues this year for the first time in a long time. I mean, look, I'm real happy with Joe Douglas and what he's been able to do with this terrible organization, but we haven't seen him in a position like this yet, where it's like, all right, you have no money and you have people to pay to keep the team together. We haven't seen his skills in this department yet. He could be a complete flop. We don't know. So it's going to be real interesting. Now, let me ask you this. Realistically, Zach comes in, and let's say best case scenario occurs. He throws for 280 plus, so 320, something in that, and he's 2 touchdowns, no picks. You think that they just stay with him and ride it out, or you think that, hey, he came in, he played well, but he's the number 2 quarterback now, and they go back to Mike White? How do you see that playing out?
That is also very tough. That would put you in a real conundrum. I almost think I lean Wilson because they're playing on a short week. That's a quick turnaround to Thursday. Then you're going to say, okay, White's going to be good now. He's going to be cleared. And then you get maybe 2 practices before you have to play on Thursday night football against the Jaguars. I think there's a real chance that Wilson's starting the next 2, regardless of how he plays, because I don't know if White's going to be ready in time.
I know. And then, look, we got that short week with Jacksonville. And you know what? There's another conspiracy theory out there, Matt. This is this. The NFL, this is big. This is way up top. This is coming from the top. The NFL wants the number 1 and number 2 picks from last year's draft to play head-to-head. That's where the money is for Jeff Bezos. Wants that to happen. Any validity do you think Bezos has? I've seen him yucking it up with Goodell. I've seen it. They've shared smoking cigars together. You think there's any possibility that's kind of, there's any motivations coming from that end?
I didn't even think of that. The Bezos Goodell combo. That's some sort of maybe. Honestly, yeah, maybe. I don't know. The kind of money he has, I couldn't put it past him. So who the hell knows?
Right. He's like, hey, man, my Thursday night football games have been not so good for the most part. I want Zach Wilson versus Trevor Lawrence. I want it, and it's going to happen. And they go, hey, we're real sorry. You gotta get your doctors to sit Mike White. We gotta. I don't care if he throws for 55 yards. You got to start him on Thursday night football. Oh my God, I would hate to even consider such a thing.
Bezos gave him pocket change, $1 billion, and said, "Hey, just shut up" or something.
Right. Here's $1 billion. Figure it out. Figure it out. And it's for you.
Yeah, I would have just said, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. He just gave him $1 billion, said, Goodell, this is for you. Which nobody, this is your $1 billion. You just figure that little thing out, get Zach to play, and we're good. Now let's talk about the game though, Matt. Like, what do you think our chances are? I mean, look, Quinnen's not playing, probably not. They haven't officially said that, but it doesn't look good. And I don't think that they would want to risk the rest of his season if he's not 100%. But Corey Davis is out, and obviously the Mike White, Zach Wilson thing. Our playoff lives are on the line here. We're at home. We're playing a team that we're better than, but they're on a 4-game win streak, and they're coming in with a whole shitload of momentum. What do you think, man? Are we winning this game? Are we going to struggle? How do you see it?
I think they still win. I had it 27-17 before this, but I'm going to bump that down to, I don't know, maybe 2017, 23-17. I think it'll be a tighter game, but I just love the matchup for this Jets defense against the dome offense and Goff outside in the elements. It's going to be a cold, windy day out in East Rutherford. Like, they don't want to do that. That's not what they're known for. Detroit, they play in a dome. And he's struggled twice against two pretty elite defenses. Once against Dallas and the other time against New England. So I think he is beatable. Yes, they've been on an incredible run. A lot of it's been when they've been home. And I don't think he's going to be able to do enough offensively against Robert Saleh's defense. We're rooting for Zach not to implode, because I think that's what it would take, an implosion for the Jets to lose this one.
I like how you put that. I mean, all we need, our defense is good enough to contain these guys. And if you looked at last week's game in Detroit, not that I watched the full game, but I did watch the highlights, and I also looked at a few things. They had a lot of over-the-top stuff. Like, they were able to capitalize on the Vikings' inability to cover deep. And I don't see that happening to us. I just don't. I don't think those $1 million plays, bombs, as we used to call it in my day. Oh, throw the bomb. That's what we used to say. But I don't see bombs like that happening against the Jets defense in the same way. Now, Quinnen would be real great to have in there. I'm not really psyched about that. But I still think, we're not going from Quinnen Williams to a practice squad guy, really. Like, there are still, Sheldon Rankins, obviously, JFM moving inside. Like, these guys are good. Like, we at least have very, very good guys that are still in there. Our defensive line is still packed with studs. Carl Lawson, Bryce Huff, Jermaine Johnson, who I think will get more playing time as a result of this. You think our pass rush is going to be able to have the impact that we kind of need them to make sure Goff doesn't get comfy?
Yeah, I think so. It obviously, it would be so much better if Quinnen Williams is out there, but I think they are a deep enough unit where you're still going to be able to create pressure, which I think is really going to be the key into the game, because Goff isn't a mobile quarterback. It's not like going against Allen where, if the pressure's not getting there, or the pressure is getting there, rather, he's going to tuck it and take off. Goff's not going to do that. So I still think they'll be okay, but obviously would wish Quinnen's playing, because that'll just make life easier.
Oh, man. Quinnen with 11 sacks, Matt, is already the best we've had at the position. Just statistically, and we know his statistics don't even touch his real value, but statistically, he's the best we've had since the 90s in there. And he's number one in the NFL, ahead of some of the big names, man. So it's really, I wish he was playing, but what are you going to do? I'd rather him play the last three than this one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, all right, Matt, one more thing for you here, and then I'll let you go. I do appreciate you just spontaneously jumping on. These guys, everybody's so excited out there. I felt the energy. I was like, oh shit, I gotta do something, right? Yep. If you had to think like our playoffs? So I'm really like, there are people saying we have to win out. There are people saying 3 and we're good. There are a small faction saying if we get to 9 wins, we could realistically be in the playoffs. The idea that Miami and San Diego, they're going to win out, it's not all that realistic. How do you see it playing? Like, what do you think we need to do in order to get to the playoffs? And then what do you think? Are we going to make it?
Yeah, I think 10, they should be okay with 10. I think one more loss would be okay. 9, I don't think they get in. Obviously, if they win out, that just makes your life so much easier. But looking at some of these opponents down the stretch, like obviously you have to catch teams like New England and the Chargers. New England has a brutal schedule. They have the Raiders this week, which that'll be a sneaky tough game for them. But after that, Cincinnati, Miami, and Buffalo to close out their season. That's an incredibly tough ask. And Miami, they have the Bills this week. They have a little bit of a tough schedule. The Jets obviously get them again. And the Chargers, the next 2 games for them, I think, are games that are going to be where they could be put on upset alert. They're going up against Tennessee this week, who we know that they love to run the ball, and the Colts next week, and they have Jonathan Taylor. What the Chargers can't do is stop the run. So if you're ever hoping for any kind of upset there, I think those are the 2 teams that could potentially do it. Now, obviously, there's a scenario where they could miss the playoffs at 10-7, so winning out is the most ideal, but I think they will end up getting some help. So 10-7 and the 7 seed is my prediction.
Yeah, all right, I like that. You know what? I'm predicting winning out. That's where I am. I feel good about it. I think the Jags, the Lions, like I'm not looking past anybody, but the great thing that I've seen from these, even all season, but really these last 2 losses, we lost because of one play here. We had the chance to win those games at any given moment. It just didn't happen. But what I gained was a really high level of confidence that this team means business. This team can hang with anybody, and we can win any game. And I don't think that the Jaguars, the Lions, while they're hot and they're young and I don't think they're really with us. I think we're going to step on their throats, and I think that we're going to walk into 4 straight victories with an 11-win season and head right into those damn playoffs. Man. Wouldn't that be nice?
I love it, man. Sign me the hell up for that. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Matt O'Leary, you got anything? Are you going live in a few minutes or anything you want to let anybody know?
No, yeah, we already went. We did our take. So check after GreenBean's video, head over to my channel, Matt O'Leary NY, for all my coverage of everything going on this week. So thanks for letting me on, GreenBean. It was fun to catch up here.
Yeah, right on, man. Matt O'Leary, everybody. You know him well. You love him. He is making content as well. Go check him out. And thanks, Matt. We'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
And there he goes. So what a great little happenstance, right? Matt O'Leary jumping in. And thanks to Jets Chaos for knowing I wasn't anywhere near that in the chat yet. So let me know. Thank you. Armando says, hi guys, as per aforementioned, I'm riding with Zach come hell or high water. Let's go, Zach. Go Jets. Let's get it. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you 100%. If Zach's our quarterback, we should be rooting him on. You know what I don't want to see? And I expressed this, Armando, I was saying it's a concern the other way too, but now it's on this side. I have a legitimate concern that Jets fans, like, we're tough, man. We are. We're tough. And sadly, we're usually split down the middle. So there's always a faction on one side or the other, right? So in the event Zach needs a quarter to get well, to get comfortable, my concern is the boo birds start and people start yelling shit and it starts getting into his head. Like, I just don't want to see that. I really don't want to see that. I'm with you, Armando. My hope would be that Zach's our starter, dude, for this week against the Lions. Root for him. Support him. Prop him up. Believe. That's what you got to do. Whether you're concerned or not, I'm scared shitless. I'll be real honest. I'm nervous, man. The last time we saw this kid, probably the worst game I've ever seen as a Jets quarterback. Let me look at that. And Horatio, I'll get right to you in a second. Worst Jets, let's see, quarterback games. Let me see. Which quarterback has the worst passer rating? Worst Jets quarterback rating of all. The 6 worst Jets games of the last decade is it? Let's see here. I don't know if that's going to do. It's not going to get us there. It's hard. I don't see. If anybody can find that, hey, anybody out there, if you can find like the worst Jets games by a quarterback, if anybody can find that and like just send me the link or something. You can do it on a DM. Just tell me where you're sending it, and I'll put it up there. I can't take too much time. I just tried to see if it was right there on the first page. I would find it most likely if I had the time, but I can't do it live, man. I can't do that, right, Horatio? I got to get to your fucking comment here. Mike White has had several. You know what? I saw you put this comment up there before. I actually meant to put it up. Thank you for making it a super chat so I get to it. This was a very good point. Mike White has had several injuries for his limited time that he's played. I think 7 games total, 3 injuries. I'm not sure how many teams are going to pay him. It's a great point. Now, I think it's only 2 injuries, right? He had the finger thing. What was the other one? The finger one now and the ribs, because he came back. He only missed 1 full game with the finger, right? I think it was. You'd have to forgive me if I'm off. I thought it was only 2, though. But the point remains. In 7 games, 2 injuries is not exactly optimal, you know? Now, the sad part about that, Horatio, is that Zach Wilson, while it's more games, 20 games, he's had 2 injuries, but to the knee, which is freaky deaky. You know what I mean? The last thing we want to get is a guy that has put the propensity for the bad knee. You know what I mean? That's scary. But 7 games, 2 injuries is a legitimate point. That's a legitimate concern. And that could actually limit maybe the offers and or size of the offer, right? Maybe they'll say, hey, look, I think you're good. I think you got the chops, but I don't know if you can make it through a full NFL season. So I'm going to give you $13 million as opposed to the 27 your agent seems to think you're worth. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That would be interesting. So that's a great point. That's a great point. 7 games, 2 injuries, and let's say if it's 3 or 2, but 3's worse. But either way, that's a good one. And I thank you because I saw that comment higher up in the chat. I meant to bring it out, and I think that was when Matt came on. Euphoria, thank you. He says Zach Wilson is back just in time for GreenBean's birthday week. He will win you back, GreenBean. Dude, I'll tell you what, Euphoria, what a fantastic spin that is, huh? What a fantastic spin. As many of you know, if you don't, yesterday I turned 50. So this is still my birthday week. I even might have a massage today. I don't know. We'll see. I want to get on my back. You know, I can use a massage. I haven't had one. Years ago, I used to get a massage twice a month. Every 2 weeks I got a massage. I haven't had a massage in, I don't know, 7, 8 years, something like that. So I could go for one, but that would be great. If Zach Wilson, maybe that's the whole grand design, Euphoria. That's what it's really about. It was all just the chips are falling in such a way that it makes my birthday that much better. And from my birthday, riding into the future, beautiful with a young second-year quarterback just settling in and being our guy. Oh, my God. Nothing would make me happier, man. Nothing would make. I'm so sick of, wondering about a quarterback. It's the worst. Isn't it the worst? No happy endings, Justin. I don't do that. I've never had one of those. Never. It's the truth. I would tell you guys. Even if my wife was watching, I would tell you if it was true. I never had one. Let's see what you guys. So you guys might have been looking for the thing. Let's see, Harry. Harry says Sam Darnold has the lowest passer rating by a Jets quarterback in a game with 25 plus passing attempts with a 3.6 rating versus the Patriots October 21st, 2019. He had 85 yards. Was that the ghost game, Harry? That was the ghost game, right? What a sham. Because that was the game. Remember that? If you guys remember, he had mono. So we had the Buffalo game. He looked okay in the Buffalo game. We were beating them 19-0 or 16-0 in the fourth quarter. I took my son. That was my son's first ever opening day at MetLife or anywhere up there. First ever opening day. We were having a great time. We were hanging with Jetnation. It was a great game. We were having a blast. And so we lose because of Corey Vedvik missed an extra point and a friggin' field goal, and we lose by 1 or whatever it was, or 2. So then Sam gets mono. Then he comes back from mono. Remember, we had Trevor Siemian. He got destroyed, got his leg ripped off in his first game. And then we had Luke Falk, poor kid. He was never supposed to start. Ruined his whole career. He's never been seen from again, Luke Falk. It was like the whole NFL just collectively said, yeah, he doesn't have it. When if he could have stayed as a third string quarterback for a few years and kind of had a chance. Nope. Gase ruined him. So, but then Sam comes back and he has that great game against Dallas. Remember that? And we all thought, oh man, we got our guy. Holy shit. Yeah, it's such a different team with Sam. And then we had the ghost game and it all went downhill. So that's interesting, though. So he's got the lowest quarter or passer rating. Let's see. See what else if you had. Browning Nagel. I don't know if he was the worst. I'll tell you what, though. We have serious issues at the position. I'll tell you that. Joe Campione, what's up? Mike White made 14 big-time throws in 3 games. That led the league. I know, dude. The thing is, man, it was real hard to, look, it was hard to deny what we were seeing. It's hard to deny. And if you think a drop pass and a fumble and we lose tight games, that's on him, then then that's on him. But I'm hoping, man, Zach can play even competent football this week. If he can, I think we can win this game handily. That's what I think. So, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's just tough, this whole thing. Again, I honestly don't care. I don't care if this guy, Mitt Flair, was able to come in and start at quarterback for the Jets. If Mitt came in, and I don't know how old you are, you could be 450 pounds and 79 years old. I don't care. If that guy ran out, not that you are, or that there's anything wrong with that, Mitt, but if you came on and you started and you played well, I would happily be a Mitt Flair supporter. You hear me? You hear me, everybody? For me, I am so sick of this. Can we have a quarterback for 10 years? 8? Can we, please? And that he's good. Can we just do that? The last time was Chad. Right? We had Sanchez for 4 years, but he was shit. He looked good the first couple of years because we had literally the best team in the NFL around him. Number 1 offensive line, number 1 rushing team, number 1 defense, and Braylon Edwards, Antonio Holmes, Kotchery, Keller, all around him. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the only reason. He had his games, of course, but he wasn't our quarterback. And then we get Geno, and he's an idiot. And then, it just goes on and on from there, man. Fitzpatrick, then McCown, and Bryce Petty, and Sam. It's just like, I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. All we want is our quarterback. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit who it is. BYU fan wants to come out and ruin someone's tailgate. Anybody going? Anybody having a tailgate for BYU to come? Coming. Just know this. He's going to talk about Zach and only Zach. He doesn't know shit about anything else. So you just got to know that. If you're into it, that jokes aside, BYU, there's plenty of tailgates. You can hook up with Gotham City. I think it's like $70, $69 something. Forgive me if I'm a little off, but you can just get a ticket, get your parking pass, fly in, show up at J3. You got to buy your entry to the tailgate beforehand, but everything's there. Food, games, shot girls, booze, everything's there. You just no fuss, no muss. And they're good dudes. And I know lots of awesome fans, Mutt Viles. Just so many guys. John Amarella. Like every time I go by Gotham City, I see all those guys. So you would see a lot of the people that are from the chats. Not that you would know who they are right away. I recognize them now. But anyway, it's easy to do. It's easy to do, buddy. You can do it. Brandon Barnes, get a massage, not like Deshaun. I wouldn't dare. Well, the one thing I won't be doing is going on Instagram back pages or whatever, looking for somebody who says massage. You know what I mean? That's one thing you don't do. You ever see those things? They would say, I charge 90 roses per hour. You see that stuff? Because they can't, if they don't say money, then it's not legally prostitution or some shit. How do I know these things, you'll ask? When I maintain, I've never done it. How would I know so much about it if I've never done it? What is it? Put the equation together for me. Let's see if anybody can figure it out. Iowa can figure it out. Iowa's the smartest in here. Him and this guy, Rusty Spooner. Detroit is no cakewalk. They're similar to us. Damn straight. They're not a cakewalk. And to make it worse, Rusty, is that they're hot. Like we've been playing good football. We're strong, but we're not hot. We are kind of on the ropes. It's like having a really good fighter stumbling. He's on the ropes. Doesn't mean he's out, but it's on the ropes. It's different being in the ring. Let's see. Tyson says he needs 100 yards from Garrett Wilson. I know, man. I know what. Look, Garrett Wilson is so hot, though, out of everybody. I think Zach just has to lean on. Just throw it to him, dude. He'll get it. Unless you're throwing it way behind him like he did those other. I forget what game that was. Remember? Like 3 games behind him. Let's see. So wait, yes. Colts the finger. This is Horatio. Good. Thank you, Horatio. Bills, the 4 intercept. He didn't get injured in that game. Did he? I think maybe he did. I don't remember that. The finger, then that. So then if that's the case, Flacco came in, right? Okay, I guess you're right. Yep, there it is. I didn't remember that happening that way. I thought he was just done. And Zach came back. Okay, this now is injury. Yep. Okay, there it is. There it is. All right, so 7. So I'm sorry, so 3. Yeah, that's a great point, man. It really is. Leroy says, I'm a real fan who suffers and has to carry his own cross. Now, I don't know what that's talking. What does this say? He says, I would love to see Zach put up 40 or 50 burger in everybody's mouth. Personally, I don't like Zach, but all this hate is unnecessary. I think he's entitled, but I still want to see him win. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody would hate him other than the play. You know what I mean? I mean, there's whatever. People get hung up on political shit, religious stuff. I don't bring any of that shit into football. I don't care. But that's me. And I can't speak for anybody else. So I think a lot of that sort of stuff, like, ancillaries, extracurricular, outside issues, I think we bring a lot of that stuff in. So our opinion is tainted. Me, I'm 100% performance-based. Now, if somebody's a real scumbag, like a rapist or something like that, then I don't like that person. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I just want to see Zach's our starter. I want to see him play well. I want to win this game, dude. That's it, at all costs. I don't give a shit if we have to hand the ball to Brandon Eccles all day. You know what I mean? I don't care. If he wins, I don't care. Billy, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been fun so far. Paris, Neil O'Donnell was awful. Yes, he was. Awful. Remember, Parcells even got us to 9-7. He let O'Donnell start that whole first year, and he cut him right after. He's like, nope, this guy, I'm never winning with this guy. It just sucks. The whole reason we got Neil O'Donnell. Remember that, dude? He played in the Super Bowl. He lost the Super Bowl almost on his own shoulders. He threw 2 pick sixes to Larry Brown, a 12th round pick, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He lost the Super Bowl, and then the Jets gave him the biggest contract in the league at the time. $5 million a year. Maybe it wasn't the biggest, but it was among. I remember thinking, why? Why is that the guy we want? Why? Because he's from New Jersey, he's from Montclair or whatever. Who cares, man? Or Mountain Lakes. Who cares? I never liked O'Donnell. I rooted for him, but I never liked him. I never had any real faith in him. Bean, our doctors are absolute joke. Every single injury is a complete mystery. I can't tell you how furious I am. We're this close, and dang. Yeah, I know what. That's a point, Pooch guy, but it seem like it's just an extension of our organization, though? You know, everything with Joe Douglas is a mystery. Everything. He doesn't telegraph a single thing. So, like, look, you can say Jamal, the plan is for Jamal to be a Jet for life, right? And then, you know, Marcus is an important part of the team. We want to re-sign him. You know? Sam is he said Sam was untouchable at one point. You know what I mean? He said he had no intention of trading Sam Darnold. So, I mean, and then, like, we didn't think about this. We didn't know the Sam Darnold trade happened. Remember, like, usually, Pooch guy, you hear rumors. You hear, like, oh, rumor is the Jets are going to the Jet. You know what, BYU, I've about had it with you. I'm going to get you out of here. Goodbye, BYU. That's it. Try to be nice to a guy. You know what I mean? You just know a guy's a douche. That's right. That's you, BYU. You're like, you're just, I don't even know where they make people like you. You can't even have a reasonable discussion. You keep trying with a person. And he's just, you know, it's terrible. Doesn't stop. Same shit. You can't, like, you know, it's like, even if, like, let's say, for example, you're wrong. Let's say you're 100% wrong. And you say to the person, oh, shit, yeah, I was wrong. And then they tell you, no, you were wrong. You can't think like this now. Like, do you realize how ridiculous that is? It's absurd. I don't even know how your mother could deal with a person. If my son was like that, I would be working on changing it. Like, I wouldn't even accept it if it was my child. So, so anyway, Pooch guy, think about with the Sam Darnold thing, usually you hear rumors. When I think it was Rappaport first, when he said it, it's been filed with the league office. Sam Darnold has been traded to the Carolina Panthers. We didn't hear a sniff. Like, that's just how Joe Douglas runs his organization. I think in most instances, it's a positive, right? We don't want that shit. Even though I want to know everything, I've asked people, I have a couple ins, right? Not very deep, and my best in doesn't work there anymore. But so I ask, and I want to know everything. I say I won't say anything to anybody, I promise. But I can't. They can't trust me. I would probably say it. I'd go, no, I can't say where I heard it. I would do that shit, and they know it. So they don't tell me anything. But so even though I want to know everything, it's so positive that nobody knows anything. So the medical stuff, I'm with you, man. It seems shady and everything, but I think it's just an extension. It's the overall organization. It's just how they roll. That's my thoughts on it. I don't think that they're slapdick or anything. I just think, I mean, look, they keep finding these blood clot things. And I mean, they're clearly top shelf. I mean, they know what they're doing. And you look at even though our tackles have been injured, like, for whatever reason, our tackle position has been decimated, right? Whatever reason. I'm going to knock on some wood here. I got to, before I even say this. If I don't have any wood, I can't do it. Here's some wood. Okay. Have you guys not noticed the difference in injuries with the Jets in the last year? Again, tackles, one thing. And of course, you're always going to have injuries. Hold on. Oh, for God's sakes. You're always going to have it. But, dude, do you not see the difference? For like 4 or 5 years, I think there was a 3-year period where we were the number one team in IR. You know what I mean? Like, number one, dude, for 3 years. So we have been decimated by injuries. So there's a difference, man. Again, I'm all freaked out. You make me talk like this, Egerton. Let's see. Egerton says, Zach looks great when he's wearing a red vest. Yeah, well, hopefully they let him wear one. Why can't he wear red? Why can't he wear red, man? You know, I hear you, dude. I think it's important for Zach to have a good game. Let's be real here. If he doesn't, dude, if he comes out and he can't muster up 225 yards, a couple touchdowns, if he can't do that, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I'm just telling you. You know what I mean? It's going to be ugly. Why is he back? Jets. Hey, Ablab, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Jets on Lee says, why? Well, he's back because the word is that the doctors have refused to clear Mike White for this Sunday's game. It doesn't mean he won't be cleared for Thursday's game, depending on what happens, but they didn't feel good putting him in for this game. So that's where we are. So Zach, being the number 2, is going to get his chance. I think, look, man, in that scenario, hey, Zach gets his chance, right? It'd be one thing if it was 1 week later. It'd be one thing if it was 1 week later. You know what I mean? But it's not. It's 3 weeks later. So this is a month. He missed 3 games, so it's a month later. He had a month to chill out, give or take, to relax, and to just chill out, recoup, gather your wits. You know what I mean? Shake off the cobwebs. When you do that, shake off the cobwebs, and hey, come in. The team is clearly able to move the ball. This 3 up and 3 down and 3 shit all game is for the birds. You have to be able to get the ball to your receivers. That's not to say every single drive, of course, but there has to be the ability to move the ball. You have to be able to do that. And the team has proven that they can do that without him. Every quarterback that comes in has done it. Whether it's Josh Johnson, Joe Flacco has done it. Not last week, I'll tell you that. But anyway, this is his chance. This is it. Because without this injury, and I said it in my podcast last week, barring injury, the quarterback discussion is over on one Jets drive. It's over. Injury, different story. So now there's another, the deck has been shuffled. All right, we don't know. Okay, let's see what happens. If Zach comes in and he just even looks competent, like he's not running backwards. If he starts running backwards, dude, it's over. Like, I've literally never seen that before. I mean, once, one time every 5 games, a guy just kind of crazily gets caught and he's trying to make some. Okay, but not as a regular thing. I've never seen that before. So, Richard from Jersey. Hey, GreenBean, I think Mike White just won't be as mobile as needed this week. So here comes Zach Wilson. I'm good with that. Well, I think they would say that, Richard. I don't know if they'd put that on the doctors. Because, again, all that needs to happen. Like, if the Jets, we were talking about this a few minutes ago, even with O'Leary. Matt O'Leary was here for a little bit. And we talked about it. And it's like, could the Jets be kind of using the doctors as an excuse to do one thing or another? But all that has to come out is that, like, what if a nurse gets wind of that? And a nurse just goes, she knows that she'll get 10 grand from a reporter to say something. And she goes, hey, look, by the way, the Jets staff made the doctor say that. That's it. It's all that needs to happen is a whisper and the whole thing is blown up. I don't know if they're willing to do that. I don't know if he's willing to do that. So, that said, mobile quarterback could be good. I mean, look, not for nothing. If Zach can just figure out, he did it in the Buffalo game. The last Buffalo, the one that he won, that game. He did it in that game. Only that game, but he did it in that game. If when the pocket breaks down, if you could take off, and if it's 3 yards, if it's 12 yards, just do it. Don't wait. If you do it 1, 2, they're all covered and the pocket's closed, just run. Run forward. If you can do that, this team has been susceptible to that. That's why in the Patriots game, it made no sense that we were watching what we were watching. This team, they overcommit, and you can very easily get 5 yards a clip running the ball with, but the quarter, and he didn't do that. That's what made it even that much more frustrating. So that'd be interesting, Richard, but I don't know if they're going to play it that way. Oh, Rusty's doing the draft. I'm sorry, Rusty, I can't do it with you yet. I know you're doing your real. I haven't even looked. Very little, just a little tiny bit. Okay. I looked at some centers, but I haven't really done anything. What's up? Stud City, he says Beans, he's talking about BYU. Who's talking about BYU? Jets forever. Will you stop already? Please. You got your fucking stupid wish. We're all rooting for the kid with you. But again, here's what I wonder. Here's the challenge I put forth to Jets forever. If Zach comes in and he sucks and the whole offense stalls, and we've seen it move for 3 straight weeks. We've had 1,000 yards, like 1,213 yards of offense the last 3 weeks. Right? Seriously. If we can't muster up an actual offense, will you ever come off of this position? That's the question. I'm not saying I'm rooting for that. I would much rather that not happen. But will you? If Mike White is the backup on Sunday, then this is staged. Wait, did I already do that one, Egerton? I feel like I did that one. Yeah, then you're not alone. I mean, somebody else said that too. If it wasn't you, I got confused here. Pooch Guy says, cleared to return last week. How'd it get worse? Well, that's what Connor Hughes was saying, Pooch Guy. Again, I'll put it up here. Look, if you guys didn't see this yet, oops. Wait, where the hell did it go? Did I close it? Oh, come on, man. Come on, dude. I got to go all the way back into the system and do it the hard way. Come on. All right, here we go. I'll share this with you. Just so if anybody's new in here and you didn't see it, this is what Connor Hughes said. And it raises a lot of questions, man. It's a good question. And it's the same thing Pooch Guy is saying right now. So Connor Hughes said, so the doctors cleared him to return to the game, but not play a week later. Legitimate and real concerns here. Now, what does that mean? Again, maybe in the game, he wasn't as inflamed. Maybe it got worse. Maybe the bruise. There's all kinds of reasons, guys. Right? There's all kinds of reasons, but it's an interesting point. And I've seen there's a specific stream of thought being born out of this that says the Jets are using the doctors as an excuse to give Zach that one more chance. Excuse me. Again, I've explored it. We talked about it. I don't think that's the case. But I get it. And like you said, how did it get worse? Well, maybe his throwing motion because adrenaline, you know what I mean? Like adrenaline's going, he's got full range. He's like, you're able to overcome things with adrenaline. You ever do anything like that? I've been hurt numerous times. In the moment, and I just get through it. Later on, you settle down and you can't walk. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, my knee. But during the game, I've done that. I played with broken bones, dude, for real. I played one game with literal pins. Can you guys see that? Pins in my knuckles. You see those? Can you see them? It's like a scar right there, and there's another one. Where is it? Right there. Can you see it? It's hard to see. Then you got that whole thing there. I played defensive end with that. Hey, it was the Garden State Games, man. I wanted a medal. The Hiawatha Rats. So, so it happens. Like shit. I've broken my bones and kept fighting. I've done all kinds of shit. So that can happen. And I think it's probably err on the side of caution. Like, here's the thing I wonder, Pooch Guy. I sincerely wonder if Zach wasn't there. Like if it was Flacco, if they'd be like, was it close enough? They can go, Rob, I really don't feel good about this one. He could play, but we're risking him. And so, like, if it was Flacco, the playoffs are on the line, like, would they have made the decision? Could they? I wonder how close it was. You know what I mean? That I'll go with. But I don't think they would just override and, like, kind of say it if it wasn't true. That's my thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I blame Pooch Guy's back. Look at this. Hey, what's up, man? How you been? I blame all the guys doing draft content this week. I'm looking at Ryan and Frankie every single time RS speaks on injuries live. Robert Saleh speaks. So you're blaming all the draft guys. Did Ryan do draft stuff this week? Well, look, in Frankie's defense, his channel isn't about that. He's just slowly but surely just kind of saying, here's a guy we can look at. Here's a guy. That's all. Now, I'm not doing it. I told Fran, fuck that. I ain't touching draft shit yet. I won't do it. I will not do it, dude. I have been doing draft stuff in mid-November for years. I will not do it. I have a good team to watch. Oh, my wife's back. I'm in trouble. Not trouble, but, you know. So, what was I saying? Oh, the draft. I won't do it. I won't do it. I can't. This is the first time I actually have a good team to talk about. I'll get the draft shit done later. You know what I mean? I'll do it. I'll get there. But usually I'm deep. I already know at least usually what I do is I grab a couple positions. Like I'll go the positions that I think we're likely to want. So I'll take tackle and I'll start looking at my tackles. Who do I like? I look at like 3 different draft sites. Who do they like? You know what I mean? I start compiling and organizing. I'll get linebacker, but this year I haven't even touched it. So, right, the thing is with like Robert Saleh injuries, again, I'm with you. I see the same thing you're seeing, but I don't think it's lies. I think it's just that's the way our organization is. They're tight to the vest. They're not giving up anything they don't have to. And that's an extension of Joe Douglas and how he wants it run. I mean, we don't hear shit anymore with Joe Douglas's regime. And it's better. It is better for the overall team. It's frustrating. Like there were people, I was having arguments, Pooch Guy, last year or 2 years ago, people saying Joe Douglas flat out lied to Sam's parents and that he lied to us about Jamal Adams. And my question, like, could you technically say, yes, he lied? When the Sam's parents things, dude, Joe Douglas brought in 11 new offensive linemen in his first year. So because they got injured and this guy sucked, you can't always hit. I mean, 1st round draft picks, 4th round pick, the guy gets paralyzed, like all kinds of crazy stuff happened. But he brought in 11 new offensive linemen in one full year. 11. I'd say that's for trying to do it. Doesn't happen overnight. It can, but it didn't. The Jamal Adams thing. I mean, do you want Joe Douglas to weaken his position by having because we want to be not lied to? Yeah, it's called holding the company line. Nope. I don't have any comment on that. Jamal, Jet for life. He's a Jet. I want him here for life. He said Jamal's a stud, and I love him. Those things all might be true. You know what I mean? He's not telling us. And when the offer came, he said, yep, and he got rid of him. So I don't know. I hear you. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I don't look at it that way. I want my general manager and coach to be as close to I want them to be. I didn't like when Rex would just blah, blah, blah. Like any reporter could get Rex to keep chatterboxing all day. He'll tell you his whole life. He'll tell you me and Mike were talking the other day. He'll tell you everything. You just get him on the phone and you pretend you're having a loose conversation with Rex Ryan and he will keep talking. And they know that. I didn't like that. I didn't like how the reporters had everything on us. before it came true. I didn't like that. It was like we had leaks. We don't have leaks anymore. Remember, Joe Douglas came in the first year. He found out that there were 2 scouts that were confirmed leaks. He fucking fired them. Out. But why? Because you're leaks. Out. And he told everybody else, if there's any more leaks, you're all going. I do not suffer leaks. I will control my narrative. You know what I mean? And I got to respect that. He wants to control it for the betterment of the team. He doesn't want to keep finding out shit. Oh, Samini just reported that. How the hell did he? Who the hell's in? Who's talking? Which one of you scumbags are talking? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Dom C confirming Joe Flacco announced as the second quarterback, so he'll be behind Zach Wilson. It's like the old days. Oh, isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? We got what we had just a few weeks ago. It's like the old days. It's like it was before the first Patriots game. Ah, memories. There we go. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. Magic's checking it. Is it mock draft? No, it's not. It is absolutely not. Nope. We got 4 games left in a season where our team has played better football than we've seen since 2010. Again, you have the 2015 argument. Sure, that was fun. But even if it's that, it's 7 years. So I was 42 years old. 43. The last time the Jets were good. I was in my early 40s. Now I'm 50. I want to hear it. I'm into this team, man. I'm rooting for this team. I'm excited. Mr. Downtown, Mike White should not lose the job because, I think, again, just like the Zach guys were saying, right? It's like, I think it's performance, dude. Mr. Downtown, my honest feelings are this will be based, if Zach comes out and lights it up, then he's good. Ride it. The team is flowing, ride it. If he stumbles, if he's 160 yards, a touchdown, and a pick, when Mike White's healthy, you put him back in. That's my thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Mr. Downtown checking back in. Flacco better not be quarterback too. Well, he is. At least that's where Dom C. I'm not checking the. Let me see. Let me look at Twitter, see what's going on here. Look at this. Matt O'Leary just, how nice. Let me show you guys. Let me show you what I just stumbled on Twitter. Look at this. Look at this guy. You guys see this? This is the day I met Matt O'Leary. Look how little I look next to Matt. I'm 6 foot tall, guys. Wanted to wish my good buddy, being the Jets fan, a happy 50th. Genuinely the kindest person. I go, oh, wow, look at that. Honored to call him friend. Look at that. This was great. This was outside the Coney Island Cyclone. Oh, I love it. Let's say thank you. Oh, shucks. Let's do a little bashful thing here. Where's bashful? I'll just do a smiley face. There you go. All right. Well, let's take a look and see what Twitter's saying. Shea Stadium. Okay. Expectations, Zach Wilson. What's your confidence? Let's go to New York Jets. See. Every 100 tweets. What is this? I don't see it. DJ Reed. What's he doing? He's doing something. All right. We got nothing. I don't see it. Let's look at let's look at this. Wait. Connor. No, where is it? Fucking Connor Hughes, man. See what Connor Hughes is saying. He usually gets it. Let me see. Zach wasn't at the bench funnily. What is this? This is old, man. I guess not. All right. So it's out there though. BYU fan, how did you do that? You can still pay me, but I banned you. How are you still here? I blocked you. Thank you for the super chat. Unless it's a new one. He made a new account and I have to keep banning him. Zach will quiet the naysayers and prove the haters wrong. Why are so many Jets fans hating Zach? He's freaking talented. Great. Again, I don't think you understand that that's all of our hope. You rigid thinker, you. That's how it goes. Stop cherry picking. Cherry picking what? Comments? I can't possibly do all the comments. There's too many. What am I cherry picking? Please. If you're going to do that, write what it is. I don't know what you're talking about, Dominic. I'd love to have the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, what am I cherry picking? Somebody tell me. Iowa, Dom, what's he talking about? Cherry picking what? If I'm cherry picking, I will very willingly bring in whatever is being removed or left out of the argument. I am one who likes all factors of the argument to be included. That's me. That's how I roll. Justin Jets with really one of the best things written here today. Why are we always got to fight, right? Zach's our quarterback. Just because you supported Zach through the benching doesn't mean you got to hate on Mike. Zach's our guy now. Let's get behind him. Well said. And I was the same way with, the opposite side. It's like, dude, if we are just honest, like if as a fan base, say, that sucks, man. I really wanted Zach to play better and I'm still rooting for him, but hey, I just want to win games. Right? It's just fucking root for the quarterback. Dominic, I know what cherry picking is. Thank you for the definition. I know what the definition of cherry picking is. I'm saying, what am I cherry picking? That's what I'm asking you. I mean, I'm not 5. I know what cherry picking is. I'm just saying, what am I leaving out? What argument? I said 1,000 things today. I'd love to hear it. Because if it is, then all right. Then if I left something out, we'll include it and see if it changes things. I don't give a shit. If you hung out with me to any degree, you're going to know that's how I am. I never hide stats and go, well, look at this. It's not who I am. I bring it all out. And if there's something I didn't know, bring it in. And if that changes my mind, it changes my mind. That's how it goes. Cherries. Right, Austin? I'm picking the cherries. I want to see what Dominic says. What does that mean? Now he wants to fight? Is that what you're doing? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely misreading this guy. I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to be at the game, so I can't hang out with you. And maybe you're talking to somebody else at this point. I don't even know. If you know, I'll be here for 2 more minutes. So if you know what I'm cherry picking, if you want to put it in there, I'm happy to discuss it. Right? Ablab says you ain't cherry picking. Dudes all right. That's the thing. It's like usually what happens, right, Ablab, is that I'm using the stats that they don't want me to use. So that's cherry picking. That's usually what happens. I will deconstruct anything with anyone to the molecular degree to see where the truth is. And I've said numerous times, nobody can out-ridiculous me. I will go to the most ridiculous extremes. If that's where we must go, then I'll go. I used to have 2-hour groups with drug addicts. They want to try to trick me. I'll follow them all 2 hours. The rest of the group be like, why are we still talking about this? Because we're going to do it. Because I'm in. I'll talk about anything. Where's Dominic? Is he saying are you going to tell me what I'm cherry picking yet? See, now you're looking like a troll, Dominic, because you said things. I've come at you. Come on, let's bring it. Not like to argue. Tell me what I'm cherry picking. He has no reply. What is it? Thanks, Ablab. See, Ablab knows the deal. You know what's funny, Walt, is that I have low blood pressure. Isn't that fun? It's like every time, this guy, how are you back? I think BYU Fan is now making accounts. You know what I think he is? I think he's J. Cole. That's who I think he is. And again, I'm going to stop. It just sucks. I like to give everybody a platform and not be like super sensitive. But sometimes you just can't. You just can't let people, you can't give them that benefit of the doubt. You can't give them an inch. They take the mile 100% of the time. So where's Dominic? Has he come back yet? Where is he? Nope. There he is. Let's see. Portion of Mike White's stats that only support what you are saying, leaving out all the stuff that, again, tell me what it is. What did I leave out? I don't think you're getting it, Dominic. Portions, and now you want me to go and look through all the stats to see what I've said. No, tell me. Tell me what it is, dude. I'm waiting for you. That's why I'm still on. No, I'm not. I'm banning him. I'm blocking him. I'm blocking him, Stud City. Not you, Dominic, the other guy. Dominic, I'm giving you more platform than I give most. So please. Dominic called out Assman, and when Assman offered to bring him on the show, he said Assman wouldn't let him in. Yeah, I know. These guys, that's the thing with internet anonymity, is that we can say and do anything. And there's like that buffer of protection, right? Like you know, people don't even know who you are. You can say, shut up, asshole. Nobody knows who you are. And then as soon as they find out who you are, it's like nothing happens. And again, I'm not looking to fight. I want to know what I'm leaving out, because I literally, Dominic, maybe you weren't here, I brought up everything from Pro Football Reference, from Mike White, Zach Wilson. I even let the chat randomly pick quarterbacks. We looked at Brock Purdy. We looked at Tom Brady. We went through everything and looked at their averages through their careers. I want to include everything. Dominic doesn't seem to have. He just keeps talking in generalities. Yep. So, see, Dominic, looks like everybody's got your number, buddy. Change your name time. Change your name time, Dominic. He'll come in back as Pat, McGuire. He'll be next. And we won't know, and we'll just continue to enter. That's how it goes here. Crazy. All right, guys, listen. That's going to do it. I don't think I missed anybody. I got Hex in. If I missed, please no, I didn't mean to. I'm looking. But you guys are the best. Hey, dude, here's my final word on it. Zach Wilson is starting this week. Yeah, BYU fan is taken, just so you know. Zach Wilson is our quarterback this week. It is my recommendation. To support him. If you're going to the game, don't wait for the first or second 3 and out and start booing. Chill out. Give him the game, man. Give him the game. The last thing we want is for Flacco to come in anyway. Okay? All right. We are all Zach Wilson fans this week. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right, guys, listen, that all said, enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have a great day, everybody. There he is. That's what. So, Dominic, I gave you every chance to say what it was. You came up with a complete flop. Goose egg, nothing. Dominic Del Biondo, you are officially labeled a troll until you do something to change our minds. The whole chat knows. GreenBean knows. Obviously, Jake Assman knows. We're just going to stop looking at your stuff. It sucks, man. It sucks that you had to make. I gave you 15 minutes to say what it was you were trying to say, and then you come up with this. Hey, man. Well, what about your argument? Forgot my argument. This. And you move the goalposts, We got you. That all said, everybody, have a fantastic rest of the day. Let's do this one. While I'm talking to BYU Fan and Dominic, let's go with this. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, go Jets.
I love Jets fans. You name one other organization that deals with the shit that we deal with and is still this passionate. Sure, you got the little segments, the dog pound. But look at the Patriots fans. They just had 20 years of there are kids, there are 20, 21-year-old, 25-year-old people in this world that are Patriots fans who have never known losing. Never in their entire lifetime. They were born into this Belichick-Brady thing, and they have consistently won. They've won 6 Super Bowls. They've been to 9 or whatever it is. And then when they didn't get in there, they were the AFC Championship game or the semifinals or whatever. And what happens the year that Tom Brady leaves? Dude, you have droves of people leaving the Patriots. These are diehard Pats fans. This is what they have. Diehard Pats fans going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. Why? Because I'm a fucking fan of Tom Brady. Bullshit. What is that?
As a Hall of Fame voting group, we need to re-examine some careers. And I think we need to re-examine the career of Joe Klecko.
Dang, I want to see how I do against this guy. Because he was the best.
Left guard can't handle Klecko.
Just knock the crap out of the guy across from you.
Intensity, bottom line. Never take a play off.
He was incredibly strong.
His just pure raw strength.
He was the same every play. Ball zone.
It was an incredible accomplishment to be dominant at one position in the NFL in your career, but to be dominant at 3 positions.
I'm sorry. Tomorrow. As Heather was saying, tomorrow. There's no time. There you are. What are you guys doing?
Whoops, I'm still here. Goodbye.